Amen. Y'all have a seat. Um, how's everybody's day been? Good? Anything exciting happened today? We did a little bit of a road trip. We were in Chattanooga this weekend, so got back this afternoon, and so anyways, I skipped church this morning, but I'm in church tonight, right? So that's good. If you have your Bible, go ahead and turn to James chapter 1. It'll be on the screen in just a second, but that's where we'll be studying. We're looking at the book of James right now, so what we're doing is, Logan, you looking for the lights? Yeah, it's right on the back, the main, and it's just a little dial thing that you pull up to the side. There you go. Now everybody's awake. We're looking at the book of James. We're walking through the book of James and the different tests that James encountered that we will encounter as well. Maybe not the exact same as James encountered, but we all go through tests, right? And we said last week that they come in all shapes and sizes, right? So what is a test for you may not be a test for me. What is a trial for you may not be a trial for me, but it doesn't matter because you're the one going through it. I'm not the one going through it. So they come in all shapes and sizes. We all go through them. They come in all shapes and sizes, but God is with us, right? God remains with us, even through the difficulty. Even when we feel like, let's just be honest, we feel like sometimes He's not there, right? We don't feel His presence sometimes. He is there, and He promises to never leave us. We just have to hold on to that promise, and sometimes it's hard to do, right? Sometimes it's hard to do, but He's always there. So we're calling this only a test, and it's supposed to be kind of fuzzy that way because when I was a kid, and none of you were born yet, when I was a kid, our TV, we had, like I said last week, we had 3 channels, sometimes 4 on TV. We didn't have, it was before cable, which I know there was really a life before cable. You can't imagine that, I know, but there really was. I remember, I may have told this story last week, but I've slept a little since then, so I've forgotten. I apologize. But I remember running home from school in 4th grade. 4th grade, running home from school because that was the day we were getting cable put in our house when I was in 4th grade. And we were like one of the first ones to get it. I mean, not because we were loaded or anything. We just, for some reason, my dad caved and we got cable. We were one of the first ones in the neighborhood. And back then, cable was just cable. There wasn't any dish. There wasn't any satellite TV. There wasn't any of that. It was just cable. And back then, it was I don't have anything that looks like it. It was a little box that was a little bit longer than this and skinnier than my Bible. And it had a long brown cord. This is, I'm telling you, you don't even need to know any of this, but to get the full effect of how old I am, it had a brown cord, probably like a 30-foot cord that was connected to the TV. So it wasn't wireless. There wasn't a remote. You had to, you could walk around with that thing, but it had a little dial and it changed the channels. That's how you change the channels. The dial just moved back and forth. It was kind of bizarre. It was the Stone Ages. So just, anyways, so that, but occasionally, I don't know why I got off on that. Occasionally, on those local channels that we had before cable, this would pop up on the TV every now and then, and they would say something like, this is the test of the emergency broadcasting system, this is only a test, and it would make some god-awful noise for about 60 seconds, and then it'd be gone. So, so we're looking at the test that James talks about, and again, last week we talked about testing of our faith, and how trials really test our faith. They really do, right? Sometimes we wonder, okay, why am I going through this? I did this little personality test this week, not personality, creativity test this week on somebody from our staff sent it to us on Facebook or whatever. I know some of us are still on Facebook. You're not on Facebook. That's okay. But some of the old people are still on Facebook. So we created, like what is your creative style? And there was like 8 or 10 different styles. And I'm a dreamer, by the way, if anybody is interested in knowing that. I didn't know that I was a dreamer. I would have thought I was a thinker, but I'm a dreamer. You may say I'm just a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Anyways, some people in the room didn't even totally get that. But where were we going with that? So it was a test about, and so we had to take, are you there were certain things that you had to ask or that you had to answer. It was a short test. It was kind of like the Enneagram type of thing, but it was even condensed, shorter than that. So just certain things that you had to answer, and there was some. There was like, are you? Do you click like updates? Do you want update? Remind me tomorrow or update now? I'm always remind me tomorrow. I don't want an update, right? So, but anyways, there was some of those things that we did, and it was just a simple test that we took. But listen, sometimes tests aren't simple, right? They're difficult, and they're not short and sweet. Sometimes they're painful. And I said last week that some of you in the room are weird and you like tests, right? You like tests in school. I say that's weird because I hated taking tests. I was not a good test taker. And in life, sometimes I'm not really a good test taker because it tests my faith. It tests what I believe sometimes. Sometimes it's most of the time, almost all the time, it's what I need, but it's very seldom what I want, right? We don't always get what we want. We usually get what we need. So there's a show out now. I haven't watched it, just for the record, okay? Just before I announce that. Before I say let me announce, I haven't watched this, and I don't plan to, but it's called Temptation Island. Now, I'm not going to ask you if any of you have watched it or if you watch it. Has anybody heard of that, Temptation Island? Yeah, it's on, apparently it's on Fox and USA Network, right? You watch it, Megan?
No, but I know what it is.
Megan, don't lie to me. Okay. So, no. Here's. I'm just teasing you. Here's the premise of this show, Temptation Island, from the ads or commercials that I've seen. We're several couples that are, a couple like relationship couples. I don't think they're married. I think they're just all boyfriend girlfriend type of couples. They agree to live with a group of other singles of the opposite sex in order to test the strength of their relationships. So they put them in like I guess in like a big house, a group house or whatever, and they all live together, and they're testing their strength of their relationship because they put other people of the opposite sex in with them. And it's Temptation Island. And I remember the first time I saw the commercial, and I thought, I can't believe, which I don't know why I said I can't believe that we're there in our world today, but I thought, wow, that is just a slippery slope. Because we put ourselves in these situations that cause temptation. Listen, we all struggle with temptation of some aspect or another, of some kind or another. We all struggle with temptation. Something tempts you, and some things tempt me from time to time. So the way that we deal with that temptation, or the way that we should deal with it, is not put ourselves in the situations where we are caused to be tempted. The way we should deal with it, and I don't do this perfectly all the time. Very seldom do I do it perfectly, but the way I deal with it, or way we should deal with it, is not put ourselves in those situations, put up barriers, whatever we need to do to get out of that situation. Paul writes to Timothy, he says, flee. Just when you're tempted in a situation, you flee. You just get out of Dodge. Don't even fool with it. Don't mess around. Don't play around. Just flee. There's an urgency in that word, flee. We have to do whatever it takes. And listen, sometimes it looks completely odd to other people. It will look completely odd to your friends or to your coworkers or your people at school and college, wherever you are. It'll look completely odd to them that you have put some barriers in your life that will keep you from those things that tempt you. But that's what we have to do. I remember when I went into, before I went into ministry, when full-time ministry, I was, a member of the church, and I was a deacon at my church, and church in Lebanon, and some